up, virtual people? Welcome to episode 72 of VCR Redux, where we take your favorite franchises out of the analog era and bring them back to 2022. I'm your host, pop culture punk Chris Stiles, joined by this week's co-host with the most, Mac Daddy Mickey Torres.
What's up, everyone?
And we have two radical guests on the show tonight. First up, he's one half of the creative genius behind Retro Fiend Radio, makers of the finest canon and martial arts docs on the internet. Their newest deep dive, the Gene LaBelle tribute with Stephen Lambert, is available on YouTube now. Dustin Nino's on the show.
Hey, what up, everyone? Good to see you guys.
El Nino. And rounding out this righteous crew, she runs an audio and post-production studio, has produced dozens of special edition DVDs and Blu-rays, and her documentary, Angela the Sleepaway Camp Doc, is coming soon, but we can't say when. Melanie Mullen is on the show.
Hi, everybody.
No pressure. No pressure. No pressure.
Don't ask me about that goddamn documentary.
You heard everyone. You heard them live chat.
Right.
We're taking questions now. We are here today to surf the information superhighway, play Mortal Kombat with a friend in Vietnam, and to ensure that the Red Knight is going down, because this world needs Cable Guy 2 cutting the cord, and we're here to give it to you. But before we can karaoke our way to a sequel, we need to talk about how Cable Guy came into our lives and what we love about it. And that goes for everyone watching the live chat. Did you watch Cable Guy on cable, or was it Love at First Laserdisc? Hit us up in the chat and let us know. So, Melanie, do you remember the first time you watched Cable Guy?
I actually do for once. I usually never remember.
That's the first in VCR history.
Well, it's supposed to be a good movie then, if you remember.
Well, let's not go that far.
It was a date.
No, I was like 8 or 9 years old when this came out, but I do remember. Who knows? Maybe I was on a date.
That's what I was gonna say. Maybe that's why it's bad.
Right. But no, I do remember going to see it with my dad, and not liking it. But it was it's a very strange movie, and the sense of humor is pretty dark. So I mean, at that age, like that just wasn't gonna resonate for me.
You've seen like Ace Ventura and that stuff before?
Oh yeah. But that was like just kind of like straight up comedy though. Like I like,
but you recognize them. Yeah,
no, like I knew who Jim Carrey was, I knew who Matthew Broderick was, and whatnot. But I was like, I remember just being that age and the movie ending and being like, I don't think I liked that.
Well,
and I never watched
ending.
and I didn't watch it again until today.
Wow,
oh my gosh.
wow.
So I watched it today for the first time since like did it come out 96 or 97?
96.
Yeah, so for the first time since 96.
So how did it hit with adult eyes? Was there much of a difference watching it today?
It still wasn't very good. But maybe I guess, now that I'm older and I've experienced psychotic people at this point, like maybe it resonated a little bit
Sometimes the bad taste in your mouth stays. So,
I like the soundtrack. But that's about, well, I mean, I love, like Alice in Chains and Soundgarden and all that. So the soundtrack I enjoyed.
To me, it was missing. It was lacking Dokken, but other than that, it was
lacking Dokken. I was excited to see Bob Odenkirk in a very small role.
That's right. Oh my gosh.
I forgot about that.
Matthew Broderick's brother.
That's right.
Yeah, that was fun.
There was a lot of people that were in here.
Yeah, the cast is fire. I mean, like even in these tiny roles, you get like George Segal, Jack Black, Owen Wilson before anyone knew who he was, Amy Mann, just some really, or Leslie Mann. I always say Amy Mann.
I'm like, where was Amy Mann?
Yeah,
Michael
Leslie
Mann.
I missed her.
Leslie Mann, Ben Stiller, who obviously also directed the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It is a very 90s thing. And I can relate to the way you felt, even though I was a little bit older. I think I was 12 when the movie came out. I still think I had a similar, like, well, it wasn't the best one, but it was still really funny. Like, I was the perfect age. I was 10 when Ace Ventura came out, but so maybe that made me a little bit more primed to have a warmer reception of the movie. Mickey, Dustin, do you guys remember first time watching Cable Guy?
Yeah, I think pretty much. I had like the friend next door that lived with me growing up, and like we would, we'd walk to the video store like a mile from our house. And I think it was just one of those rentals. We rented it one night, and yeah, sort of the same thing. I remember sort of everybody kind of wanting like another Ace Ventura or something like that. Just super goofy Jim Carrey, and was kind of thrown off. But our expectations were subverted a little bit, but in a good way. I remember liking it and thinking like, yeah, it's different, it's dark, it's weird, but all the movie references, and it's just it's filled with just vignette after vignette of small little, just funny little scenes, like the basketball scene or the porno password scene or the just pick one, and it just goes on, just the different scenes that are just hilarious. But yeah, I think most people wanted just another Ace Ventura, but then they kind of got something dark, and it's definitely I think people have looked back on it and gone like, yeah, that was a little bit of a more highbrow, in a way, type of dark comedy that people might have not really just kind of got the first time around. But I remember sort of like thinking that too, kind of having that vibe watching it and going like, yeah, most people aren't going to get it, but it's good. It's really, really well done.
I totally agree. And that was, I think, like generally the take on it. Like it made money because he was just like on fire back then, but it didn't make like Ace Ventura money,
Oh, no.
Yeah.
But it's definitely got a new appreciation. I mean, it was a Super Bowl commercial. They
Right.
made a
It's
new
also
Super
not
Bowl.
for, it's not for 10-year-olds either, or whatever.
Yeah.
At the time, which is like a weird market to market Jim Carrey to at the time,
Well,
like,
the Ace
that's
Ventura
all dad
thing.
takes his kids to the movie, right? Yeah, it's like they're expecting one thing.
It has one of those things too, like most 90s movies where the Jim Carrey was supposed to die. It's like the Rocky 5 thing, and the studio's like, oh no, you're not making like a really dark piece of art here. Like this is we're here to make money, and like he doesn't die.
Right.
If this hits, we want to be able to do sequels, whatever.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, if you look at the other things Jim Carrey did that were more Ace Venturas and like Liar Liar, like you could fucking throw those movies in the trash to me. Like now, like
I love Liar Liar too.
I don't love Liar. I even as a kid, I knew Liar Liar was just like, oh, this is kind of like pandering to like what people want,
I
I
love
felt
it
that way too. Yeah.
I don't
feel
enjoy it though.
For me, I mean,
did
like
enjoy
I don't think there's a bad Jim Carrey movie. I mean, I don't know.
No, I'll take Ace Ventura 2 over Liar Liar, but Ace Ventura 2 is nowhere near as good as Ace Ventura 1.
Maybe The Mask, because I just didn't like that one too much. But
The Mask, maybe we'll do it on VCR someday. But The Mask had no reason to be a hit other than Jim Carrey was on fire.
Exactly. I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I just don't like the movie. So I mean, like it's subject
I don't
to
like
what
The
you
Mask
think.
either. Yeah, but like I said, most of those movies they just didn't hold up over time for me. But this one, I like love it now. I didn't so much love it as a kid. I liked it because I love Jim Carrey, but now I'm like, this is top 5 Jim Carrey comedies for me, easy, like without question.
Yeah, I mean, like,
probably even top 3.
I love Truman Show and stuff like that too. But so I saw.
Would you consider Truman Show one of his comedies though?
See, that's another one that no one likes.
It's a dark. I think it's a dark comedy in a way. I mean, in a way, it's a dark comedy.
I guess
there are funny moments in it, especially once he starts to realize what's going on. It does turn dark, but very much like Cable Guy. It's like, so it's like, I don't know. I put it there. I saw Cable Guy in the theaters.
On a date.
On a fucking date. Yes, we know.
I was with someone at the time. So it was
on a date.
Wait, it was a date.
Were you on a side date? What is this? Like I was with someone.
No, I mean I was in a relationship, so whatever. But yeah, I guess they still are considered dates. So
yeah, you take your girlfriend to the movies. That's a date,
Yeah. In any event, I saw this thing in the movies and I loved it. I thought this is a great movie. Like I also like. I mean, I was 18, 19 when it came out, maybe. So, and I had already seen, I don't know if you guys remember the Ben Stiller show.
Yeah.
So the Ben Stiller show had all these characters. Like, I mean, basically Andy Dick,
Jimmy Garofalo,
Jimmy Garofalo,
climbing a building.
Yeah. So like I saw that and I was just like, oh, it's like, and I put two and two together, the Ben Stiller correlation, and it just reminded me of that show. Like it just, there was so many things that in this movie that just reminded me of that show. So I just instantly loved it because I instantly love that show. So for me, it was like,
it's almost like a Living Color Ben Stiller show crossover.
Yeah, in a lot of ways.
That's actually a pretty good way of putting it.
And then
it's like if they guest hosted, if like Jim Carrey guest hosted on the Ben Stiller show, it's very much like it's fun to see because it's like it's a black belt comedy guy, going to another comedy troupe and showing, doing their thing there. It's like that's fun to see.
So I also like when pretty funny casting on this fact getting Matthew Broderick. I thought that was like
chef's kiss,
which by the way, this is like one of his best performances, I think.
Oh yeah,
it's up there
easily.
It's top 5.
Yeah, easily. I mean, because you got Ferris Bueller, Election, and Cable Guy. I feel like those are the top 3 for me.
Yeah.
I mean, not to knock like other movies. I love Glory, and like he's done tons and tons and tons of stuff. But like again, you kind of think of it like on the comedy brand side of things.
Number 1 is obviously Inspector Gadget. I mean, that's
excuse me, Godzilla '98.
Wait a minute.
Hey, the side note about that movie, that's the only movie in the history I've ever been to a movie theater that I walked out of. We ditched school.
Wow.
We ditched school that day in high school to go see that movie. We're all so excited. And it just would not fucking end, that movie. It would not end. It was endless.
Wait a minute.
I walked out on the Royal Tenenbaums. That was like, for me, I was just like, I'm fucking out of here. I'm like, that was the only movie I ever walked out of. It was a Royal Tenenbaums.
I'm guessing Melanie's a big fan of Godzilla. Otherwise, she might not have brought it up.
I think that was another one I saw in the theater and never saw again.
Okay. Solid back battle.
Was that another one?
Godzilla post 98 poster.
Was that another one your dad took you to?
Yes.
See, he chooses the worst movies for you.
No, he was probably different. The trailers were cool. That was the first movie like Godzilla was coming back.
If you saw the
trailer, was a rough fucking
If you
year
saw
for
the
movies.
trailer and thought that this was going to be a good movie, I think something was wrong with
Bro,
you.
Back in the day, dude.
Like
back
10.
in the day, this was.
I was 14 and I thought Godzilla was cool. But man, I walked out of that one. I walked out of that one feeling like I don't even know. I felt like death. I was like, I don't know what that was. But I don't think that was a Godzilla movie. I wanted like Jet Jaguar to show up and shit. Like, that's my fucking Godzilla. They sing the Jet Jaguar theme song. Like, yeah, now we're talking. And everyone else is like, what the fuck is Jet Jaguar, right?
But I also thought that was weird casting too. You're putting Matthew Broderick in a Godzilla movie? Come on.
What is going on here?
Yeah, I guess
he was still pretty young at that point and youthful. So I guess I understand.
Youthful.
Well, at that point, I was
I'm a youthful scientist vibe going.
He had his little backwards hat or whatever he was wearing.
It made him youthful.
Yeah, he was hit.
Man.
He was hit. He was sciencey.
Nikki gets the giggles. I love it. So I'll get to my first time watching not Godzilla, but the Cable Guy.
This has turned into a Godzilla episode.
This is quickly turning into the.
You
Godzilla
came for the Cable Guy. We gave you Godzilla.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm sorry, everyone.
No. I love it because we can talk about all things Matthew Broderick and Jim Carrey. They're all Cable Guy adjacent, and it was '90s, and
it's all mashed together.
You don't get to Election without Godzilla.
There you go.
At any rate. So I see some names in the chat: Alex Bonafonte, Matt Sharp, Mash of Genius himself. Yo Guys was on DVD for me. I'm kind of surprised that you didn't see this until the DVD era, because this predated.
Oh, I rented it on
you know,
VHS when it came
Like
out.
I
too.
like DVD came out in 97, but like let's be real, like none of us had one until like 99, 2000, you know, because they were like too expensive. Like
Right.
so like
I think
you wouldn't-
2000
in the
is when
living
I
room.
got one.
right? I think I got one Christmas of like 99, so it was like right
when did
before the year 2000.
when did City of Angels come out?
Oh God, let's just
Wasn't
throw
that
this
9
whole
was that
episode in the
98,
trash.
99?
98, yeah, it was 98. I remember I was in a
98.
That's
date.
when I
yeah.
got my first DVD player, and that was my first DVD. City
Wow.
of Angels.
City of
Did that
Angels.
come with it for free or something?
I like the Goo Goo Dolls song.
Yeah.
You didn't want to get the
everybody loves it.
soundtrack, you just got the movie
I
instead.
mean, I don't
My
Did they
know.
have the
fir-
music video? Because this was back when like every DVD had a music video tie.
This is the first time I realized that, you know what,
There was definitely a music video.
a drama
had to be.
isn't fucking good to buy on DVD. I'm like, it's useless to buy a drama on DVD.
That's not
I'm
true.
like, to me it was just like, I don't buy like dramas, you know, maybe even comedies, whatever like that.
So you
it's
think
go-
The Godfather plays better on VHS?
No. I'm saying like, as far as
You'd rather
like, you know,
switch tapes?
I'm sorry, they remastered that too for Blu-ray and stuff like that. But I'm just
Yeah,
saying, like a normal,
great.
like a normal release out of the box. I'm just like, no, I'm not getting like, you know, that drama or whatever like that on.
At least you don't have to
DVD.
rewind it.
It also
know.
had that. It also had that great Alanis Morissette song though.
Oh, see, there you go.
That was a really good song.
People, and look,
I just
the
remember him
Matthew
falling from the
Broderick
building.
correlation. The Matthew Broderick correlation. Who was the
I just-
leader in that role?
I just remember him falling from the building
Ryan.
silently in slow motion, and when he hit the ground, I let out the biggest like fake fart sound in the back of the theater, and the entire theater was ripping with laughter. It was like still in my life like one of the 5 coolest things I've ever done, easily.
Oh,
in
that's
the
so
top 5
That's
movies.
another movie I don't think I saw again, but I have like a few vivid snippets, like snapshots of it in my mind.
This is becoming the fucking 90s shit show episode, and I love it.
Shit,
Anyway,
dude.
Alex Bonafonte says
You
saw it in
came for
theaters.
Cable Guy. You
came for
got
Cable Guy.
Godzilla. You
You're
got
staying-
City of
Yeah.
Angels.
You're staying for fun. So Alex Bonafonte says I saw it in theaters, never understood the hate. I have, you know, I can understand what you're saying. I guess I don't understand the critical hate. I understand the audience hate because they wanted another Ace Ventura, but I would have thought critics were smart enough to recognize this like for what it is, which I do think is genius now. I didn't get it when I was like, you know, 11, 12 years old, but now I think it's amazing. It's, like I said, one of my top Jim Carrey comedies, hands down. I see Michael Glasson in there with a shout out from Droobies. I know he's got a wedding on the way, and I'm so glad you guys tuned in. Thank you so much. Give them some congratulations in the live chat, folks. I see Angie Saunders, another mashup genius in there. Let's see, some I haven't seen in forever from Matthew Sharp. The twin subplot could be its own movie from Michael Glass, and that is actually a very true story. I would watch the shit out of that. And I've watched just about every made-for-TV movie on the Menendez brothers, which I think is a large part of what it was based on. I'm like addicted to Menendez brothers movies. I'm obsessed with it just because it killed my hopes for a Fright Night 3 with William Ragsdale and Roddy McDowell. And you know what? Cinema world, you should all be upset too. Murder is always terrible, but when it also kills the hopes of a Fright Night 3, it's even worse. That's all I have
Bring
to say.
it on
about
home,
that.
Chris. Bring it
That's
on home.
all I have to say about that. Some love for the Ben Stiller show in the chat as well. The chat is actually going pretty deep today. And there's some trashing of Devlin and Emmerich. Somehow Devlin and Emmerich thought it'd be a great idea to make a Godzilla movie where he gets scared and hides in the sewers the whole movie. And some disgust. There's also some disgust that we even mentioned City of Angels from Alex Bonafonte's Ew, City of Angels. I'm right there with you, buddy.
Come on.
I just remember, if I'm remembering this correctly, Nicolas Cage and Meg Ryan finally hook up. And are they like talking about like food ingredients or bullets or something?
What?
Yeah. What
I
is
don't
that?
remember.
Right. Yeah.
I just,
dude,
again, it's like
no, that totally just
snapshots.
pulled that out of my head. What is that? Yeah.
That was probably
Yeah,
I've
they
seen
start
that. I've seen that too.
because Well, they first met like at the grocery store or something, didn't they?
He's like,
And
baked powder, like, yeah, what the, yeah. I totally know what you're talking about. Yeah, mixed with a dash of eggs, and yeah. What is that part? Totally, I know what you're talking about.
nutritional yeast.
Mickey's losing it, and now it's making me start to lose it.
Dude, I forgot about that. Dude.
Cable guy.
Oh
Yeah, I
getting
forgot.
back
Sorry,
to
how do you?
Cable Guy. I saw this movie. I was it was the summer after 6th grade for me. I went with an old buddy. Shout out Phil Kalis. And I think we both kind of, had that sort of like, it wasn't like Ace Ventura, but we had still, we're satisfied enough to be like quoting it, I'm sure, in the car ride home. And like shout out to all the parents of kids around my age in the 90s that had to deal with like probably just years of like, oh, righty then, from their 10-year-old, just bad Jim Carrey impressions.
And Beavis and Butthead.
And then from this one, we got
Beavis and Butthead
Cable
too,
Guy.
Yeah, there was Cable Guy. It's, and I'm still
He
doing
likes
it.
to
It's like
announce his character.
it's like bad Borat impressions or bad Arnold impressions. It's just like everyone's got one. Like, okay, let's get it out of our system now, and then let's enjoy dinner. But like I said, years later, I started, just like kind of every few years I'd rewatch it and I'd like it a little bit more. I'd like it a little bit more. I'd like it a little bit more. Cut to, I'm in like my late 20s or maybe my early 30s even. I'm like, this is like incredible. This is one of his best movies. And then you realize, oh, Ben Stiller directed this, and Judd Apatow was one of the writers and one of the producers. And like, there's all these, Owen Wilson before, he was, a name. There's all this, great stuff to appreciate.
Tenacious D, both Tenacious D was in there.
Oh yeah, that's
Where's
right.
Cage? Where's Kyle Gass?
Cage is towards the end of the movie when
he picks up a book.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's right.
The thing is, I don't hate this movie. It's just, I watch it and I'm just like, okay. And I don't feel like a need to watch it again. I will say
because
though,
of his dark nature.
I will say though, at the end, I did laugh when he's like, what is your name? He goes, Ricky Ricardo. I don't know what about that just like had me laughing my ass off, because I just wasn't expecting it.
I think I had the same reaction like the first time I saw it, that was like one of my favorite jokes for whatever reason, because I had no idea who the fuck Chip Douglas was, and that's still like mostly lost on me. But the Ricky Ricardo was just chef's kiss. I don't know. I've struggled to pick a favorite scene with this movie, because like Ian always says, a movie is like a collection of moments that you'll remember. There's a few moments in a movie you remember, it's probably a good one. But I feel like I really remember. Say it again.
I said, or City of Angels.
Or there's City of Angels, yeah.
It was a good movie. It's a good movie. It's a good movie.
Okay, well,
if he says it enough times, it'll be true.
Yeah,
I wanted to own this thing on DVD. It was my first DVD. I bought the DVD player. It was a snow blizzard out, so I just came back from Best Buy in time. And I set
as opposed to a sand blizzard.
I set this thing up, and I sit down on my couch ready to see DVD goodness, and it's City of Angels.
Hey, so is he an angel in that? What's the deal?
About you is
but that's
predictable,
later.
He's an angel, but he becomes alive.
Yeah, it's look, it's
you got wings like Michael. He's hiding them and shit.
It's great. It's
I
brilliant.
need to do a cop movie mashup with Chris Angel. That's City of Angels, and it's like him as a shitty detective. And
This
movie flying out.
You should have Michael and Michael John Travolta as Michael and fucking Nicolas Cage as
phenomenon. That was
detectives.
a brilliant movie. Brilliant movie.
That was the ending was sad.
Phenomenon was a great movie. I'm sorry.
Wait,
Yeah,
Michael or
it
Phenomenon?
He's talking about Phenomenon.
That was
Phenomenon.
Michael.
Michael.
He was Michael in Phenomenon.
Oh, well, there was a movie called Michael that starred John Travolta.
Yeah, there's a movie called Michael. Yeah, and he was an angel in that movie.
Oh, wait. I got it mixed
City
up.
of Angels has a 6.7
Michael is Michael.
on IMDb.
Phenomenon's the other one.
Yeah.
I
I
remember
think
now.
everything everything from the
Renaissance,
90s
but-
now is like high
We're
rated.
really,
'cause
we're
there's
really
nothing
just
good.
getting all the 90s shit in here right now.
Yeah.
Oh God, there it
see
is.
that?
Oh, I remember that poster. Yeah.
How do you
He's like
how
a
do you
vampire.
How do you see
It's like
that?
Vampire's Kiss. She title swapped that.
How do you see that on Best Buy's DVD rack at the time
Oh,
and not
God.
say, "I gotta get this"?
Ooh,
Because
the tagline.
there's nigh an explosion or a ninja on the cover. I wouldn't have bought it.
That
Because
looks
it's
like a great movie.
1998 and The Wedding Singer is also available on DVD, as is Austin Powers, as are other like reasonable movies of that era to buy. Boogie Nights.
I don't know. City of Angels was there. I just don't know. It was there.
She didn't believe in angels until she fell in love with one.
Of course.
Oh my God, what
That's
a tagline!
the tagline.
What a
Anyway,
tagline.
my first DVD was Nutty Professor 2.
Wow.
Well, the Lord
They-
sort of smited her for being an unbeliever.
That's true.
Ironically, bring it back to Cable Guy. Jim Carrey described it as Hitchcock meets Jerry Lewis, which I think is actually a really good
Oh, that's
description of the
perfect.
movie.
I think
That's
this is
exactly
also like
what it is.
I think this is also his Andy Kaufman before he played Andy Kaufman.
Yeah, I agree. Where he's like, "Oh, you want this from me? Well, guess what? I'm gonna give you something else. And if you're too stupid to appreciate it, then I guess I'll go
Right.
back to the dumb. I'll make Liar Liar and Ace 2 and those other
Right.
type of movies that people just gobble up
And
and probably made $100 million and
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
I remember
totally. I think
Liar
people
Liar.
were-
If memory serves, when you got Liar Liar at the beginning of it, it had the THX mastered thing. And I remember thinking,
Mhm.
like, that's fucking weird. Like, this is a comedy. Like, there's nothing that explodes in this movie. There's no like process. There's no like composite shots. Like
Which is why
Right,
you wouldn't
right.
have owned it on DVD either, because you're
because
like,
you had that
"Ah."
THX mastered VHS. You were like,
Right. I
no
didn't-
need to
yeah, like,
upgrade. This is fine. I like rewinding my movies every time I want to watch them.
See, that's why
THX.
I bought City of Angels. I didn't want to rewind
Okay.
it.
All
Okay.
right, so
THX brings it back into the Cable Guy when he gets Matthew Broderick that home entertainment
Thank you.
system. He's like a THX sound system that would make George Lucas cream his pants.
that is probably my favorite quote now that I think about it, because it was before the Star Wars movies got re-released, and it was like you just knew George Lucas from like Star Wars and THX, and then just the fact that they play it later, like cream in his pants. So good. Like this movie is God, shout out to whoever edited this movie because it is cut fucking brilliantly.
Yeah.
But so speaking of getting into favorite lines, do you guys have a favorite line or a favorite scene from this movie?
I don't know. I was cracked up at the fucking prostitute scene when he finds out he hired the two prostitutes, and he's like, yeah, next time you pay. And he's like, pay what? He's like,
The women.
he's like, yeah, I pay this time, you pay next time. It's like, pay for what? God, that whole fucking scene is just the unraveling of it. Is
The
so
way
fucking
Jim
hilarious.
Carrey plays it is brilliant.
It's just
too.
so fucked up.
I wish
too.
I
Yeah,
had
it's so
friends
fucked
like
up.
that.
Like, yeah, exactly. He's like, you think those girls are gonna hang out with us if we don't pay them? It's like so fucked up, and you just see like the horror on Matthew Broderick's face, and it's just like, that's like part. But there's a handful of scenes in the movie where you're like kind of going along with Jim Carrey, like, oh, he's just kind of a weirdo, and then it just turns the screw, and you're like, dude, no, this guy's this guy is gone. What the fuck, And then it goes back to him being normal. He does a really good job of throwing those scenes in there where you're like, dude, this is dark, and then it goes to him just like kind of gaslighting everyone, and it's like, oh my god, dude, it just goes back and forth like that. Such a roller coaster almost.
I love the basketball scenes when he's playing basketball. Like, first off, he gets on the court. He's like, first I gotta warm up. Don't want to pull a hammy, and he's doing his little sprints.
He's doing the suicide sprints where they get shorter.
And he's like, all right, let's get it on. And then they start playing and everything, and he's like he gets knocked down one time. He's like, oh, I see. We're playing by prison rules. And then he immediately starts like number one, he knows prison rules. Number two, he's sitting there like just checking people and just like bang, just that was it. And then the coup de grace is when he's like telling Matthew Broderick, pass me the ball, I'm open. So he's open. He could hit a 3-point shot, but no. What does he do? He wants to go
He
right
jumps.
at Jack Black and dunk over him. And how does he do that? He scares the shit out of Jack Black. So Jack Black is just like all hovering down, bent over. He literally leaps off of Jack Black's back and dunks it and breaks glass.
It's
Come
so
on.
funny.
It is
That's-
beautiful.
It's so
And
funny
nothing-
how Jack Black's like covering that guy too in slow motion. He's just all like,
And then he goes, thanks for the boost. He's like, I've never dunked before. Thanks for the boost.
And nothing is more 90s than, like, to me, like, nothing makes me think of the mid 90s, like shattered basketball backcourt,
Yeah.
like Shaq. You just think of like all
Shaq.
that stuff.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's
That's why I
amazing
was-
because Jim Carrey was Canadian and apparently knew nothing about basketball. And like was like, all right, how the hell are we gonna do this? There's a lot of stunt double work in that scene, apparently.
Oh, I
that's so
bet.
funny.
Thanks
Oh,
for
yeah.
inviting your friend, Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna go
Obviously,
it's like, come on, let's get a beer. He's like, I'm going home.
I gotta say though, Medieval Times, of course, is another one of those moments.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the
Andy
thing that like
Dick.
everybody remembers.
Yeah.
Andy Dick's
Janine
great, Janine
Garofalo.
Garofalo's great, like Jim
Uh.
Carrey's great. Dost thou have the frosty brew for thou? Like,
I like when Matthew
Yeah.
Broderick goes like, "What? We're drinking Pepsi. I doubt they had that in medieval times." And she's just like,
Yeah.
she's like,
Give me a
"Come on,
break,
I got
dude."
other tables."
Dude, I got a lot of tables.
yeah.
That's so funny.
I
Like
have
there
been
were
to
no
medieval
utensils.
times.
Yeah, how was it? I never been.
It's just
I've
in
been.
Buena Park, but
Right.
Well,
Yeah,
there's
no, I
another medieval times. I only knew that there was one in Jersey. Like
oh,
I
is
never
there
knew.
one in Jersey?
They're all over the
Yeah,
place.
yeah.
Oh shit, I didn't know that. No, there's one out here. It's in Orange County. It's by Knott's Berry Farm.
The other
I
two
assume that's
most
where they
90s
filmed
things
it, right?
ever.
Right? They filmed it at that one, I assumed.
I believe, yeah, the
That's
one in
like the
Buena
closest.
Park, yeah, out here.
Yeah.
The other two most 90s things ever to me are Medieval Times and Rainforest Cafe. Like,
Oh,
I
Rainforest
fucking
Cafe.
love Rainforest Cafe. I'm sorry.
I
I'm sorry.
never, ever,
There's
ever went
nothing
to one.
like a good thunder and animals like moving all over the place, like
The
make you
food
enjoy
sucks,
your
but that's what you're
food.
paying for.
More.
Yeah, you're paying for the sit in a fake jungle. Yeah.
It's cool. The vibe. It's a
$18
vibe.
per burger.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
It's so funny.
So I'm
Uh,
looking to see if anyone has shouted out their favorite lines in the chat. There's some love for Tenacious D in there though, for sure. And cream in his pants being Michael Glass's favorite line. I made you scramby eggs. Feed me to the
so
boards,
that's
you'll
that
find
part,
out.
yeah.
yeah,
Come
yeah.
on, we're
that's
hanging
right.
out. I made scramby eggs.
Feed me the boards.
Oh my god. So it's
Uh,
quite a challenge to imagine how one would sequelize the Cable Guy. Especially now that it's been so many years.
I want like
But-
full on like Lawnmower Man or like just basically like him. Literally, he got sucked into satellite, and now he gets beamed like online and shit like that.
Oh, some
he's-
stay tuned kind of shit.
Yeah, just and then he's like like showing up in random YouTube videos or whatever the case may be, telling people to watch TV more or something like that.
A Max Headroom.
Yeah, like just like sucked into that, because it's so dark too. He's like, somebody's
know-
got to kill. When he says somebody's got to kill the babysitter, I was like, oh shit, that makes you think. It's like, that's right.
That's
Somebody killed him.
interesting. I think one of the keys is getting the pop culture right. Is like, obviously if you place it today, everyone's cutting the cord, and that's hell for Jim Carrey. But if you focus on like what kind of pop culture would he really be into, I feel like he wouldn't be into like YouTube and stuff like that per se. Maybe he would, but I feel like he
A
would love
streaming
he'd have to,
service?
like reality TV. No, not streaming services,
yeah.
because like that doesn't help him. He wants to get into your house and plug you in, and like that's his whole like mission in life is to like connect everyone through cable. He would be working for either FIOS or Comcast at this point.
Right. You could do
Even,
it
like,
like if it's
satellite.
some podunk town out in the middle of nowhere that, something like that like they need, the only way they can get, TVs, they have old school cable and there's nobody that can set it up except for one guy or some shit like that.
But he's dead.
Well, actually, in podunk towns, they have to get satellite because there's no infrastructure to lay cable lines. And I just know that because I spent so much time in like Wisconsin growing up. And
Oh
like
man.
everyone out there has satellite because there's no fucking way to get cable run to your house.
Well, at least they got to watch
Yeah.
City of Angels because satellite gets City of Angels first.
Oh, then you just add a dash of cinnamon and mix it and whisk it, and
Fucking Nicolas Cage. All right, so
Oh my
clearly Nicolas
God.
Cage is
I
gonna
want
be
Nick
in
Cage in
Arcade
the
Fire.
sequel. I want Nick Cage and Jim Carrey in the sequel to this.
They're
It's
two-
not streaming anywhere. I have to pay to rent it.
So that's interesting. What if there were two cable guys, the last two cable guys, and they're like trying for like a management position, and it's Jim Carrey versus Nick Cage, and they're both psychos.
dude, that'd
Oh
be
my
so
God.
funny.
That actually would be
so
really
funny.
fucking,
What about
that would
if
actually
we
be
took the
insane.
concept of Demolition Man and put Jim Carrey and Nick Cage?
And,
Is
like,
it a cable
who
guy
plays
sequel still?
simultaneously, and
Yeah,
who plays-
I mean, you can do a cable. I mean, it could be a cable guy sequel.
They both thought out from the 90s. And fucking yeah, Jim Carrey has to be Stallone, and Nick Cage has to be Wesley Snipes, otherwise it won't work. And I need Nick Cage to be bleach blonde,
Yes, please.
and I need like Jim Carrey to still have the lisp and be like,
Dude.
"It's dangerous."
we
Yeah, I
should-
can't do it, but like,
Hey, honestly, man, someone should deep fake
I've
that,
seen it
man.
times
Good.
before.
Man, dude, I want to see that now. That's
Dude.
a great movie.
We've never solved
See
the
that?
problem of how do we write a sequel so
And
quick
I
on
probably-
VCR Redux.
And I
minutes
probably,
into the
I
half
probably
hour.
fixed all of Melanie's problems with the cable guy just in that synopsis alone.
hmm
Yeah, that was enthusiastic. Like, great job, Mickey.
God, it's so
But Janine
funny.
Garofalo is coming out of Melanie right now.
Yeah.
Janine
Like,
Garofalo will
give me
play
a break,
Sandra
Mickey.
Bullock's role.
Wait, Janine Garofalo, what?
Yeah.
Would
She'll
play
play
Sandra
Sandra
Bullock.
Bullock's role.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh.
exactly.
how
Yeah.
it's perfect.
Sandra Bullock's
That's
role in
freaking
what?
Perfect.
In
In
Demolition?
Demolition Man.
Oh, duh. Right. I was like, what? Where did Sandra Bullock come
Actually,
from?
my
I
favorite
forgot
part
she-
of
Yeah.
Demolition.
I always
my
forget
fav-
she's in that movie.
My favorite part of
Mhm.
Demolition Man is that every restaurant is Taco Bell, and
Oh my God,
Yeah.
because
yes.
that sounds like my personal heaven.
So
Like-
not only are you getting the cable guy talk, you're getting the VCR greatest hits. You're going through all of our shows, and
That's
we're
right. We did
giving you the
Demolition
sequels
Man.
right now.
Scroll back in the
Yeah, yeah,
archives for
exactly.
Demolition Man 2 Shell Shock.
Don't they have that really fancy Taco Bell in LA somewhere that opened up or something? Or?
So there are these locations called Taco Bell Cantina.
Right.
And there's not one in LA. There's one in Newport Beach. There's one in Vegas. It's basically just a Taco Bell that you can get alcohol at. So you can get like an alcohol, like a Baja
Oh,
Blast with
what?
vodka in it. Yeah,
That's pretty cool. That's
I
pretty
know.
cool.
I know.
We've taken
It
Cable
is
Guy.
so
and
much
we've-
like that.
I
we
feel like
turned
I'm
it
on
like
a
way on
date.
its head.
Sorry, I did it
I feel
again.
like
I'm
no,
sorry.
no, no. I love it, but we
Did
should
they eat
at least
Taco Bell and the Cable Guy?
we can get it some product placement in there. Because I want to hear
Pepsi.
Jim Carrey with the list try and say all the different like things in the Taco Bell menu. Like, I'll take a Fiesta and a Mountain Dew Sprite, like, whatever.
Baja
Anything with an
Blast?
S.
Yeah,
Baja
please.
Blast.
Yeah.
I can't do that voice to save my life, but
It's not easy.
no. So I guess we should be
I love when he
grateful that
punch-
there's certain sequels that we didn't get to this movie. Like, you could get your standard, like, oh, he had a kid someday a long time ago, and now the kid's like.
I thought it'd
I
be funny if
I
he tried to
refuse
like
believe
open up.
that.
I don't know.
exactly.
He frequents hookers apparently.
This
Yeah,
is
but-
true.
Or what if it was like a sperm donation,
Mm.
and
True.
he
I don't know
tracked
if they
down
would-
his
I
kid
don't know if
that
they would-
way.
I don't know
No,
if he'd meet the criteria for sperm donation.
But he'd be so
Yeah, but
like
what year would this be?
he'd do something to switch it up. He's like that type of person. He would
Oh,
go
he'd
and
like
switch up the
give you
files.
someone else's social security and info. Like, yeah, I'm this guy. who went
Right,
to
or
Harvard,
something.
yeah.
Right, exactly. Or literally just go break in there and switch, like installing cable at the factory and then switching the vials. You know, like just you can leave it up to someone else who's writing how he switches the vials. But
I have an idea that pertains to that. And I'm not amazed, but also amazed that we've gone in this direction. But he's still obsessed with, Matthew Broderick and his girlfriend or whatever. And maybe it's a few years later, Jim Carrey gets out of the mental institution or whatever and starts stalking Matthew Broderick again. He notices that like him and his wife are going to a fertility clinic, and they're doing IVF, and he switches out Matthew Broderick's vial with his own or something.
Oh my God. Oh my God, that's so fucked up.
Oh, that is so fucked up. It's so right on the
hell of a movie.
Right.
Wow.
Oh man.
You have a new nickname. It's Mic Drop Melanie Mullen. Boom.
MDM.
Make it as fucked
comes
up
out
as possible.
like with the chip tooth.
That is
so
royally fucked. And holy shit, that totally tracks as like where Chip Douglas or whatever Ricky Ricardo could be, 25, years later, almost 30 years later now. Shit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
God damn. That makes me feel fucking ancient. That Cable Guy is almost 30 years old.
Wow. So basically, yeah, there's nothing more you can say about it.
Nothing more you can say about it. Shit, that's it. We're done.
That's the
fucking
movie.
It didn't take us
Done.
long. Yeah, we already got two sequels written. Boom.
Although
I gotta say, Mickey's fucking Demolition Man 2 take is also amazing with the just inserting cable, like making that sequel, but out of the Cable Guy sequel. There's something so fucking weirdly meta about that, and also something that like Chip Douglas would be into. Like he's like kind of playing the John Spartan role. Like
when he dies, he gets sucked into his favorite movie or TV show.
And yeah, his favorite movie could have been Demolition Man.
And his favorite movie could have been Demolition Man. And he could have been like, and then he's living that life.
That's true.
And you could just do that with a bunch of different movies.
That's true. You could stay tuned it. You could definitely keep cruising. And it could be a 90s greatest hits,
Yeah.
Because maybe he does it, because where's TV now? It's like Dancing with the Stars and reality and shit. And like maybe he doesn't like that, because I don't know, it doesn't track with like what he used to like. He used to like these wholesome, like story based.
There are not a lot of sitcoms.
Yeah,
he
didn't
like sitcoms.
He likes sitcoms that represented, traditional families that he didn't have.
Right.
So
yeah, he wouldn't like Big Bang Theory.
He would love Cobra Kai though.
Yeah, he would probably love Cobra Kai.
Everybody loves Cobra Kai.
That's true. Everyone who's sane loves Cobra Kai.
If you don't
that could be the thing that like gets them into Netflix. Like he discovers Netflix, and like somebody shows him like Cobra Kai, and he's like, "What's this?" And he watches all the episodes, and he's like, "This Netflix has everything I love. This and that."
I love how everything in our lives becomes Cobra Kai, because we just
Cobra Kai is one of those shows. Like I respect everyone's opinion. Like not everyone's gonna like the same thing, but if you don't like Cobra Kai, I feel like there's something fundamentally wrong with you. Like if you can't find enjoyment in Cobra Kai, like what do you enjoy?
Yeah, that person would probably say like, "Well,
you enjoy being unhappy.
It's me."
You enjoy City of Angels. That's what you would.
You can love both. You can love chicken and you can like steak. I mean, you love them both, and you can have them both.
Well,
that sounds like
because Ian's not here this week, I need to say that City of Angels is a fart. There needs to be a reference to fart for Ian, for our love for Ian, who's busy moving right now. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know.
He's not moving. He's following Dawkins on tour.
That's true. All right. Secret's out. I wasn't going to tell. Wasn't going to blow up the spot.
They're not together
anymore. He's making the
anymore,
documentary, and he's following them on tour. Cool. So we're all anticipating that now, in addition to the Angela doc. But it's interesting. A lot of people thought like, oh, they should have done a sequel with Larry the Cable Guy, like get the two Cable Guy, some sort of Cable Guy versus Cable Guy thing. I'm so glad that we did not get that. Exactly.
I would rather die than watch.
Larry the Cable Guy is the fucking worst Ernest in the world. I mean, he's literally Ernest goes to camp.
That's an insult to Jim Varney.
No,
and-
but I'm saying he's the poor version of that. He's like that. His whole act is basically Ernest to me.
Ernest ripoff.
But like
Yeah.
not good.
Cheap
yeah.
Ernest
Not good.
ripoff.
Not good at all.
Redneck Ernest.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know. Maybe it's like that. That sounds like that whole Sunny D is like a bet that you could make orange juice without oranges. Like so you're
But-
making Ernest without anything earnest about him, but he sucks so much, and Ernest is so great. So I my brain can't make the connection. Anyway,
God, I haven't had Sunny D in years.
Sunny D.
Cola,
shit
I don't like
was
orange juice.
delicious.
I like
Funny
Sunny D.
D.
That's how I know it's full of shit.
That shit was
Tonight-
delicious.
Listen,
Yeah, it was.
DoorDash or whatever, some Sunny D to your apartment. Put on
Okay.
City of Angels and relive that time.
All right, enough City of Angels, and not enough Cobra Kai.
And definitely not enough Cable Guy, which
And
is
not
the
enough Cable
subject
Guy,
of
yes.
this show.
I like though Mickey pitched Cable Kai, which is kind of cool.
I
Oh, hey,
1,000 like if I was a millionaire, I would give you money to make it.
Yeah, right.
I-
Like Daniel LaRusso gets fucking triple play at his house, and Chip Douglas just becomes obsessed, and he
Mhm.
becomes the Stingray of Miyagi-Do.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
That would
god.
And then those two get their own spin-off. Fucking goddamn it, it's a brilliant, and you know it. Goddamn need it. And shit, how many?
Yeah.
That's 3. We've given you 3 Cable Guy sequels so far this episode.
Right.
How
I
high we
I
can
think
get
this
cast.
God,
would
yeah.
convince Jim Carrey to come out of retirement. It's so good.
installs cable and
Is
he
he
installs
retired?
all the
Yeah,
new
yeah, he,
security
he
systems
retired.
and all the new Cobra Kai.
At least that's what
Although-
he says.
It would be just as much fun if he became obsessed with fucking Johnny Lawrence too, and he just like tried to
Oh.
emulate, tried to be the badass, and he couldn't never be it.
Right.
that would
right.
also
That
be
could be like the
amazing.
next season.
I mean,
Right,
he
you do
does
one
have
season and
really
stuff,
good
yeah.
like fighting moves, Jim Carrey. What
Yeah.
movie was it where he starts like he's like doing all this slow motion stuff and like throwing punches,
Dumb and
and the
Dumber?
guy is just like, no, it wasn't Dumb and Dumber, and the guy is just standing there like, what? Like, and he's going like, and I'm pretty sure that is Jim Carrey, right? No, it's totally Jim Carrey. It's totally Jim Carrey because it's completely his type of like physical comedy, and I just why am I not?
Can you do that one move again?
Oh,
Is it that wasn't that badass or what's that movie called? Kick Ass?
Kick-Ass? Is it
Kick Ass
Kick-Ass?
2?
no, he wasn't in
Oh,
that.
Kick-Ass 2.
Nicolas
He was.
Cage
He
was
was
in
in-
Kick-Ass
Oh, he was in
Kick-Ass
Kick-Ass 2. I
2.
never saw Kick-Ass 2. Was it? It wasn't like Yes Man or something, was it? No. He's like shadow boxing something. I mean, oh, fuck, it's gonna
Once
drive me
Bitten?
insane.
That's in the
Oh,
Demolition
God, once
Man.
bitten,
The
shout out to
Demolition
fucking
Hang on, I'm
Asian
gonna
Jim
look
Carrey.
it
Cable
up. I
Guy.
don't know why I can't remember it.
So we've got Cable Kai, we've got Demolition Man 2, and what was your pitch again, Melanie?
I don't know.
I don't know.
The switched at birth.
Oh,
Cable Guy
oh,
2.
Oh yeah,
Switched at
the
birth.
in
Oh,
vitro,
switched
the
at
in
birth.
vitro
you know,
sperm
really
swap.
The
dark,
best
the
one.
really dark one.
The really
Oh,
fucking
it's,
dark sperm swap.
Me, Myself, and Irene. That's what it was.
Oh, God, that's a
Oh,
great.
a
That's
great one,
actually
yeah.
that's
That
actually
movie
one of
is
his
really
last
funny.
great comedies, I think. Yeah.
That movie was oh my god,
I love
dude.
that one. I love that
That's
one.
like fuck, dude. Yeah, that movie was
Oh,
hilarious.
definitely. Oh, no doubt, no doubt. So another interesting theory: what if Cable Guy, and just because we're spitballing and we've already got 3 sequels, what if Cable Guy got a video game? I'm almost surprised it didn't, because it was at like the height of this shit. It would have been on like PlayStation 1. I'm just picturing like the Cable Guy blockbuster night. You rent like Cable Guy the movie, Cable Guy the fucking PlayStation game, or like Nintendo 64 or something.
Dude,
You know,
what
you
would
get
you
a,
do
you get a
with
2
the
liter
like-
wild cherry
coupon for
Pepsi.
medieval.
What would
but
you do in this video game though?
Yeah, yeah.
You just have to like fix cables.
Install. You have to find the
Well,
sweet spot of every
If it's a
cable.
90s game, it would probably have like nothing to do with the movie.
Right,
So it would
exactly.
probably,
Yeah.
It would
It's like a
probably be
space
like
shooter.
like a space shooter. Exactly.
right.
It'd be like Space Harrier, but it'd be Space
Right.
Carrier because it's Jim Carrey, and you're just fixing cable, like moving around this 3D
Mhm.
plane. You
Oh
know,
my God.
that'd be great. Boom.
Oh,
So
It
we've
would be
given you
like,
3
it'd be
sequels
like-
and a video game.
It'd be like Among Us, if any of you guys have played the video game Among Us, and you're just like, oh God, I gotta get these cables together in order to get to the lights working. And like, that's pretty much all it would be, I think.
Oh God.
Or it could be like
That's
one of those Spider-Man games where you're zip lining around the city on coax cable and fixing, giving everyone the VIP package.
Or you could give it like the Friday the 13th NES treatment, where
Yeah,
it's like
that's what I
not
was going.
where it's not playable. Like,
Were you just like you were trying to find Steven the whole time and you never find Steven?
right, exactly.
And then
And then like
the one time you do, you get killed in like a second.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
And Steven looks nothing like Matthew Broderick. He's like purple with a green face, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
The 80s cable guy, the 8-bit video game version of
He
Cable
looks
Guy.
closer to Matthew Broderick in Godzilla.
So think of it
Which
this
was
way: if
only a
Cable
year
Guy,
later, but
if Jim Carrey's Cable Guy character was to show up in any other franchise, like what would be hilarious? Like him being like a Leo Getz type role in Lethal Weapon, you know?
I wish that In Living Color was still around when he was
me too.
doing Cable Guy, because like you know how sometimes they'll do like guest cameos or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And they could have had Jim Carrey guest cameo as the Cable Guy character on In Living Color.
That would have been amazing.
Mhm.
But even
I
still,
mean,
you sort of got the best of both worlds with Ben Stiller's show and Living Color in the Cable Guy.
Yeah,
Right.
very true. Very
Yeah,
true.
totally. I mean, I know Mickey hates SNL, but I mean, there could be an SNL Cable Guy crossover somewhere. I mean, sets up in Wayne's and Garth's new apartment or something. You know, do something
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
because
Would be funny.
their cable access show.
For
or
a cable
public
access show,
yeah.
right? Yeah, that would be funny.
when
That'd
was
be
the
funny.
last time? When was the last time Jim Carrey hosted SNL?
I don't know.
I feel like he cameoed on it a lot as Biden for a while.
Oh shit, he wasn't. It
did
wasn't
he?
great though.
Yeah, I didn't think it was that great either.
Yeah.
People were
I
like,
don't
"Oh my god, it's
remember-
amazing!" I'm like, "It's just Jim Carrey." That's why
I
I
don't
think it's
remember
amazing.
the last time he
Yeah.
actually hosted though.
That has probably
Yeah,
been.
I don't
I want
know
to say like
either.
maybe around like the Me,
Probably been a
Myself, and
while.
Irene time. Like maybe he was pushing that movie because I feel like
He
I saw
hasn't
him
really-
do some stuff with Will Ferrell. He did some. He was like the
Mhm.
third night at the Roxbury guy at one point in one
Oh,
sketch,
you're right. You're right. I remember that. Okay.
and he was like a
Oh
lifeguard
yeah.
in like a fucking
Yeah.
jacuzzi for like in a jacuzzi somewhere at like a YMCA. He was
Right.
like a jacuzzi lifeguard. That was
Yeah,
actually a
yeah.
pretty solid episode.
Right. Him and Jamie Foxx should just do a movie, some sort of comedy. You know,
Are
they
you
were so
sure
funny
he's
on Living
retired?
Color.
Because he just
He
did
said-
Sonic the Hedgehog,
Yeah, that was the last thing he did. Sonic the
and he
Hedgehog.
was in a music video for The Weeknd.
Yeah, but he said I'm retired. Sonic, he on the Sonic 2 interview,
Oh,
you know, he was saying like, you know, on the, you know, the circuit or whatever like that. He was like,
Yeah.
I'm done, you know, this and that. And he was
What if
very
He's not making a movie.
he was very like upset with the whole Will Smith Chris Rock thing too, and that was pretty much another
Mm.
like, this is it. I got to get out of this industry.
Well, here's the spitball thought. What if you flipped Cable Guy on his head? And what if when he was in a mental hospital, he became pen pals with the Stiller twins or the surviving Stiller twin?
Oh,
Yeah.
Man.
And then that guy stalks him when they both
Dude.
get out.
oh my gosh, that'd be so funny.
And you get
And
Ben
then, like-
Stiller to recall like darker shades of like the heavyweights character and shit like that. And
Oh my gosh, dude,
dodgeball,
that'd be
like,
so
you know,
funny.
because that's like,
Dodgeball.
to me, that's always Stiller's best work when he's playing that like super
Yeah.
villain dick type, you know, like those
Yeah,
are
yeah,
just
totally.
amazing.
But it's funny,
just
like as much as
incredible.
I love Ben Stiller, like I don't love everything he does. I mean, like I don't like the, you know, the something about Mary's. I don't like
You don't
Meet-
like Something About Mary?
no,
Oh
I
my
don't I
God,
don't like that.
So
I
funny.
don't like the Meet the Parents kind of thing. I don't like a lot of this stuff. But you know, I like his Along Came Polly. So there you go. But
Along Came Polly is very funny.
it was good. It was good. It's good. So
He
like
really
for
is
me,
a good
like
director, though.
for me, I like him more playing the straight guy kind of deal.
What about-
Mhm.
You know,
What
except for
about Tropic
Dodgeball.
Thunder?
Oh, I
Permanent
like
Midnight.
Tropic Thunder. I like Tropic Thunder
like-
too.
Tropic Thunder? Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Simple
Tell me
Jack.
someone here's seen Permanent Midnight.
Oh yeah, dude.
He plays the
Great
heroin
movie.
addicted writer of Alf.
Yeah, that's a great. That's the one that I like
Never
stumbled
saw
upon
that.
later.
Now I gotta
on
see that.
HBO, like, a few
Yeah,
times.
definitely worth checking out.
Wasn't Elizabeth
Yeah.
Hurley in that or something?
Was she in that?
Was she in that? I don't remember
I feel
that.
like she
But
might
it's
have
been a
been.
few
Maybe
years.
she was. I don't know.
Put her in the
Okay.
Cable Guy sequel.
There you go.
There you go. Boom. So we got a couple Cable
Ben
Guy
Stiller's
sequels.
a pretty great director, though.
Yeah.
If you've never seen the limited series he did, Escape at Dannemora, that
No,
was
I
on
want to see that
Showtime.
though.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it has
wanna see
Patricia
that.
Arquette, Paul Dano, and Benicio del Toro, and it's
Yeah,
excellent.
that looks so. God, I've been wanting to see
So,
that.
It's
What's that on
something-
Showtime?
It's Showtime, yeah.
Something interesting in the chat. Alex Bonafonte says, "Put the Cable Guy on Maury Povich for Melanie's pitch," and I gotta say that is perfect.
You are
Right,
not
I
the
mean,
father.
You are the
I mean,
father.
talk
I
about
don't think
his
Maury's
dreams come
on
true.
anymore.
Maury's
Oh,
done?
man.
I
Yeah,
think
Maury's
Maury
done. He retired.
Yeah.
We'll
He
Oh,
retired.
we'll
shit.
bring him out of retirement for the movie.
I mean, at this
Yeah.
point, all you have to do is get like a 23andMe to figure out if someone's the father of somebody. So
Is that what put Maury out of business, you think?
23 and Me. That's that. They did a lot of like. I think that a lot of those places use 23 and Me or whatever.
Wow, this got everywhere. I'm surprised we didn't work Ricky Lake into this episode because we were really all over the 90s.
Ricky Lake has an appearance in Cable Guy at the beginning where they're like going through the channels and it goes past the Ricky Lake show.
Oh man,
See,
that
that's
completes-
another
man,
great show.
right.
Another great show.
That completes.
he could-
Speaking of
Cable Guy.
Ricky Lake,
He could have
any
been on
Cabin
the
Boy
show.
fans?
What?
Any Cabin Boy fans?
Cabin
Oh,
Boy.
talking about
that's
that
right.
movie today.
I
These
didn't like
clothes
Cabin
are
Boy.
clean.
Did not like Cabin Boy.
You do
The
not
only
like
thing I
Cabin
remember
Boy.
about that
Yep.
movie,
Yeah.
I watched it on cable back in the day, but I can't remember anything else. I
Oh,
just
God,
remember
that
that
was one of-
trailer line.
Cabin
Yeah.
Boy?
It's with
Yeah,
Chris
it's
Elliott.
Chris Elliott,
Who
Ricky
was,
Lake.
was all,
has,
coming off
like,
of Get a
cameo
Life,
in
but
it.
it was before something
That's.
about marriage.
I mean,
Oh.
as like
It's Dave Letterman's only movie appearance.
Oh, okay.
Chris Elliott
Yeah.
did not do it for me. So anything that he was in, I was not watching.
I will say
Oh,
this has
come
been a
on,
weird
dude.
episode of VCR Redux. For all the time we spent not talking about Cable Guy, we still came up with like 3 or 4 extra pitches for like
Right,
different Cable
right.
Guy
We're
sequels.
efficient.
So
It was
It's-
Melanie's time
it's a-
management in the beginning that just set everything correct. You
That's
know, we're
true,
like, we're gonna
yeah.
time manage the shit out of this episode.
This
That's
was a
right.
true pitch meeting. True pitch meeting. And
I hope somebody is watching.
I hope that what you take away from this episode is that City of Angels is not a bad movie, and it's one that should be enjoyed and cherished.
Shit, dude.
and that Melanie is now Melanie Mic Drop, the VCR time cop,
Mhm.
keeping things
Yep.
on order and on time, giving you all the
Exactly.
pitches
Right.
you deserve.
Exactly.
I
Godzilla
don't
was
think-
not a great movie either. Godzilla '98.
That could be a sequel. Godzilla City
Oh,
of
there is
Angels.
a pitch. There is a pitch in the chat too. I apologize. I didn't see any pitches in the chat.
Who knew?
But there was one. Michael Glasson says he gets a Blockbuster type shop and recommends all these old sitcoms and types of movies and gets obsessed with the patrons. And that's actually another really
Dude,
good
that's a
idea,
good one.
too.
Yeah, I thought about
Yeah.
too. Like, have him opening up a rental shop in like some small town. Nobody wants to. Everybody's like, "What the fuck is he doing?" And then slowly more people are getting into it, and the kids like it, and that would
He
be
buys
that
the
would be
last
funny.
Blockbuster and like almost becomes somewhat of
yeah.
a hero to this small town.
Yeah.
That could be kind of
dude, that would
interesting.
be good. Yeah, that would
And
be
like,
good.
yeah,
that would
he
be
sort of
funny.
gets like in the spotlight until like it explodes, like you see the real
Yes,
Chip Douglas or whatever.
that would be hilarious.
So yeah, there's actually, you know what? Kudos
We,
to us.
we
I
never
think
got his real name, right?
No.
that is true. We never got
Ricky,
his real name.
Ricky Ricardo.
Yeah, Ernie Douglas, but my friends call me Chip. Yeah. Who knows what is, I like to think that he actually does have the name of a sitcom character, but just not one that he likes enough to like,
Yeah.
like his name is
Like,
actually like
the
Alex
reason
Keaton or
why
something,
the reason
name
why
is
his
Archie
mom
Bunker.
the reason why his mom
Right,
sat him
right.
down in front of the TV was because she was obsessed with the TV too.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, there could be a prequel. Fuck. What kind of woman creates the Cable Guy, right? What was she? What kind of shit was she into from the 50s? I guess the golden era of TV.
Yeah. I did like how he was like, I want a brother. When am I going to get a brother? Well, that's why I have to go to happy hour.
That's why mommy's going to happy hour, baby. Oh man, so good. So before we wrap it up, is there anything you guys got coming up you want to let the people at home know about? Anything in Retro Fiend land or anything documentary or special edition DVD land?
I'm doing a full documentary on the making of City of Angels.
Get the fuck out of here,
dude.
And exactly like I have Nick Cage lined up.
I hope you call it. I hope you call it Shitty of Angels, and you just brutally assault the movie.
Well, he has to find a new girlfriend now because, like, he became human, and then his human girlfriend decided it would be a good idea to ride her bicycle with her eyes closed and got hit by a fucking car. So now he has to look for love again. And, like,
oh my
god! Good luck explaining that backstory.
And he finds the waitress. He finds the waitress in New York.
And this is all Cable Guy 5.
And they win the lotto.
Angels.
And they win the lotto. And now he has love again.
Yes.
Oh, Cable Guy. Yeah. What if he died and it's like he's getting cable in heaven? He's giving everyone, HBO in heaven. They haven't had it forever.
Right. And then they go to hell trying to get the $50 package.
Oh shit!
Damn perfection.
Well, other than Mickey's Shitty of Angels documentary, is there anything you guys got coming up you want to let the people at home know about? No. He says.
We are gonna have a Revenge of the Ninja Q&A coming up. We'll get let the dates and make firmer stuff coming up. Anybody out there fan of Sam Furstenberry's 80s ninja classic Revenge of the Ninja? We got a Q&A coming up with Sam and Stephen Lambert and Keith Vitale is going to be there, and we're working on a bunch more, so it's going to be fun. We'll let everyone know. Just come by Retro Fiend Radio, check it out, like our Facebook page or something.
I will guaranteed be there. I would not miss that for the world.
Yeah.
Chance to hang with some VCR folks and some Retro Fiend folks, and hey, maybe we'll be able to guilt Melanie into showing up.
I've
never seen any of that ninja shit.
What?
Well, now's the perfect time.
Now's the best time.
Plus, he knows the entire plot to City of Angel.
Gosh. I'm telling you, I want to do some martial arts stuff coming up. I want to get
send me a
American
list of the best ninja movies, and I'll
you got it.
Watch.
All right, done and done.
Yes, Retro Fiend will not miss. You won't skip. They won't skip any crucial watches for you, especially when it comes to ninja films.
Send it to the internet.
Yeah.
Send it to the internet.
Hash brown Cobra Kai.
Hash brown Cable Kai.
Yes.
So, at any rate, you Fandom fans might want to come back next Wednesday at 9 p.m. when we narfle the Garthok for our Coneheads episode.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. As always, if you enjoyed this video, the best way to help is to smash that like button and leave a comment telling us what movie or TV franchise that you want us to cover on a future episode of VCR Redux. And since you're already doing that, you might as well go ahead and like, subscribe, and follow Retro Fiend Radio, Fandom Spotlight, the Hollow 9 Network, and Pop Culture Punk. Till then, back up those Betamax, rewind those Laserdiscs, and we'll see you at the movies.